will call the school board meeting of Tuesday, September 24th to order. If you would, please join me in silencing your cell phones as we get started. We begin each meeting with an invocation, which will be led by operator. Okay, this evening, followed by our Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by Tom Rademacher, the principal of Neptune Middle School. National anthem will be sung by the chorus from Neptune Middle School, followed by our mission statement, which will be read by Karen Combs, the principal of Alco, and our translation services will be led by handled by Belinda Reyes. So, if you would, please rise.
Would you pray with me? Father God, we just thank you for this night. God, we thank you for a great school year and kickoff. God, we just pray for the men and women in this room, God, who are championed with the education and the security of our students and our children, God. And we just pray that you would guide this meeting and guide everybody's hearts. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And Tom, I believe you wanted to say something else?
Thank you. Please remain standing for the performance of our national anthem under the direction of four-time Gaylord Palm Arts Teacher of the Year nominated, Distinguished Minority Educator Award nominated, Teacher of the Year nominated, Christian Educator Honor Roll Award winner, and Disney Performing Arts Educator, Neptune's own Mrs. Jessica Lopez. The group performing this evening was established in 1994 as a top choral performance group in the district. This award-winning group has performed at both county and state-level events, including all-county and all-state chorus, minor and Major League Baseball, basketball, and hockey league games. They have consistently received straight superiors at district and state choral MPA competition, including last year where they earned 68 superior medals, the top you can receive. I present to you from Neptune Middle School, the Notables.
You may be seated as the exit.
Welcome, Mr. Soto.
And now our mission statement, inspiring all learners to reach their highest potential as responsible, productive citizens.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Belinda Reyes, and I am here to provide translation services. Buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Belinda Reyes. Estoy aquí para proveer servicios de traducción.
to our board comment portion of the meeting. Mr. Booth, start with you.
I'll just say thank you to the Neptune. I'm a Neptune Seahawk myself, so special place in my heart for the folks over at Neptune. Great job. The Lord blessed me with many things. Singing, any kind of musical skill at all was not one of them. So I always appreciate seeing people that do have those talent, putting it on display. As I see Miss Kessler, where's Laura? She's right here. She does a great job too, singing the national anthem. I thought that might be why she was here. So anyway, congratulations to them. And thank you.
Yeah, I observed the performance from the back, and I thought it was wonderful. I am a Seahawks fan now.
Mr. Steele?
Nope. I mean, what can be said after such a great performance, except it is a great way to kick off American Founders Month. So that's happening
Oh, my goodness.
today.
Is that the agenda?
Yes.
Dr. Pace?
I had the opportunity this week, or maybe last week, I don't know, the days kind of run together, to attend the Spirit of Hospitality Awards hosted by our local Chamber of Commerce, where Miss Valerie Woodring, the coordinator of the Hospitality and Culinary Academy at Osceola High School, received special recognition for her amazing leadership and service in the field of hospitality. And we want to congratulate Ms. Woodring and the great staff at OHS, as well as the great staff of our CTE department that has provided tremendous support to Valerie and to others throughout the district as we grow these programs, which we're also going to have an opportunity to recognize some more of them tonight.
That brings us to our presentations, and the first item is a Florida Healthy School District presentation. That's going to be moved to next Tuesday. Second presentation is the recognition of the National Academy Foundation Year of Planning completion. Ms. Stefanowicz.
Good evening, Chairman Thacker, members of the board, Superintendent Pace. I'm going to ask that my NAF Academy people just wait to the end, and I'll call you up just for logistics. In 2018, in response to the School District of Osceola County's strategic plan, Gateway, Liberty, Point Siena, and St. Cloud High Schools commenced on the rigorous year of planning in an effort to become part of the National Academy Foundation. We call it NAF. NAF is a national network that provides rigorous, industry-validated, career-themed curriculum. The curriculum incorporates current industry standards and practices, literacy strategies, and STEM integration. During their year of planning, these academies were guided through trainings and assessments that aided in establishing a sustainable foundation to ensure each academy's success. Over the summer, these academies had the honor of graduating and becoming NAF Open Academies this fall, thereby earning the distinct honor, to stand alongside the district's flagship program in hospitality and tourism at Osceola High School, led by Valerie Woodring. Participating in the NAF Network provides students access to life-changing opportunities that help define their future career pathways and to provide support every step of the way. It is important that we take the time to pause and recognize the tremendous achievements of these academies. My colleagues have gone above and beyond to provide not only the industry-vetted curriculum, but resources, high-quality learning experiences, and mentorship to continue ensuring that students of Osceola County are career and future ready. So if I can have Gateway, Liberty, Point Siena, St. Cloud, and Osceola join us up here, please. So a lot of work went into the design teams and the planning and implementation of this program. Dr. Pace, would you like to? Mr. Thacker? Yep, we'll get a photo op, I'm sure. Somebody in my team will put it on social media.
Nate, did you bring more positive comments?
I could, anytime. It's one incident. I guess.
It's not going to be recognized.
Well, I mean, and this, of course.
No,
There's that.
Congratulations to all of you.
Congratulations. Thank you all very much.
Thanks, guys.
How many academies we have?
Next on our agenda is to observe this September 2019 as American Founders Month and proclaim September 23rd, 2019 through September 27, 2019 a Celebration Freedom Week. Dr. Rasmus?
Yes. Thank you very much. It's my privilege to invite 4 of the Cotton family children to the podium and their mother, who is one of our resource teachers, our AP resource teacher.
And a past teacher of the year for the county, correct?
Yes.
No.
And they are going to read our, is that going to be on, can we put it up there so they can read it? Or do you have it with you, darling?
We have it.
You have it with you, okay.
Ron DeSantis, Governor. American Founders Month and Celebrate Freedom Week in Florida. Whereas Section 683.1455 Florida statutes designates the month of September as American Founders Month in recognition of the contributions of the founders of the United States. And whereas Section 1003.421 Florida statutes designates the last full week of September in Florida's schools as Celebrate Freedom Week to recognize the sacrifice made for our nation's great freedoms and timeless truths. And
whereas countless brave Americans have laid down their lives in battles near and far to protect our founding principles and liberties that define us as a nation, and whereas all educational institutions, along with other civic and religious organizations, are encouraged to recognize American Founders Month in honor of our founding fathers.
whereas Florida schools are encouraged to engage in instruction relating to the contributions of our founding fathers, including an in-depth study of the Declaration of Independence, a historic document that laid a foundation for the future prosperity of our nation and helped establish a government based on individual liberties and the rule of law. And whereas rediscovering the value of civic education is paramount to helping our children and students achieve the American dream and acquire the foundational knowledge needed for properly discharging the duties of citizenship.
Now, therefore, I, Ron DeSantis, Governor of the State of Florida, do hereby extend greetings and best wishes to all observing September 2019 as American Founders Month in Florida, and the last full week of public school classes in September as Celebrate Freedom Week in Florida. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the great seal of the State of Florida to be affixed at Tallahassee, the capital, this first day of September in the year 2019.
So moved.
Second.
A motion by Mr. Booth, a second by Ms. Castillo. Any further comments, questions?
This education is extremely important to our students. And actually, it's the civics part of my daughter's education. They've been in 7th and 8th and now 9th grade, so that they've been going through that the last few years. That's been my most favorite part of helping them with school is engaging. And I've got the opportunity to go out to St. Cloud Middle School and engage with their civics teachers. So it's been a lot of fun. I think this is important education. See what's going on in our nation right now. It's extremely important that we all understand civics and our Constitution and how all this works.
I just wanted to say that that was a very nice presentation, very well read. Thank you.
And thank goodness we have great teachers so they can correct the information that you might impart.
I wanted to introduce you. You may have noticed that 3 of these children look very much alike. 3 of them are triplets, Alexis, Brianna, and Caitlin, and then the youngest girl is Bailey. So Alexis, Brianna, and Caitlin, will you stand up? And then Bailey. You're Bailey. They all go to Celebration High School. So we're lucky to have them there, and we're very fortunate to work with their mother, the advanced placement teacher. We love Kelly. Nice.
Yes.
Thank you very much for coming out.
Yes, thank you all very much for coming and doing that tonight. It's nice. We do have a motion by Mr. Booth and a second by Ms. Castillo. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries 4-0. Brings us to appointments and transfers. Dr. Pace?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Thacker and members of the board. I am pleased to have several recommendations. If I could invite Ms. Lou, to the podium, please. During her career, Ms. Yuling Liu has held the following positions with the Florida Auditor General: an auditor, a senior auditor, lead senior auditor, and currently serves as an audit coordinator. She received her bachelor's degree in economics from the University of International Business and Economics in Beijing, China, and a master's degree in accounting from the University of Central Florida. She has certifications as both a certified public accountant and a certified fraud examiner, and I'm pleased to recommend her board as our new Director of Finance.
So moved.
Second.
A motion by Mr. Booth with a second by Mr. Soto. Any other questions, comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries 4-0. Congratulations.
Thank you. And next, I'd like to invite Dr. Listinia Penaloza to the podium. Board members, during her career, Dr. Penaloza has been a fiscal officer for the Pomanoke Community Center in New York, a teacher at Canoe Creek Charter, educational specialist and school administrator at Kissimmee Charter, and currently serves as an assistant principal at Coa Elementary School. She received her bachelor's degree in accounting from Queens College, a master's degree in educational leadership from Nova Southeastern University, and a doctorate degree in performance improvement leadership from Capella University. Board members, I'm pleased to recommend her to be our new coordinator for multicultural education.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Castillo with a second by Mr. Soto. Any further questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries 4-0. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You don't have to run away. You can't, if you wanted to say something or introduce somebody, you're more than welcome to do so.
As you asked.
Well, this is a very bittersweet moment for me, just because I came from our staff meeting where I had to tell my COA family that I had to leave them, but I am so excited for this opportunity, so I thank everyone. Like always, I will do the best job that I can to help serve our families and students and staff within this county. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Good luck.
Congratulations.
And now, Board, if I could invite Sean Woodell to the podium, please. As Sean's coming up, with his career with the Osceola School District, he started as a technology technician, network specialist. He's been a network communications analyst, and he earned his bachelor's degree in information technology from the University of Phoenix and a master's in digital forensics from the University of Central Florida. Sean is a great example of the leadership pipeline and our efforts to grow within and allow people to develop and continue to expand their knowledge and skills and service to the district. And I'm pleased to recommend him to become our new Director of Technology Services.
Second.
So moved.
I think I have a motion by Mr. Booth
Yeah.
with a second by Mr. Soto. Any further comments?
Yep.
Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries 4-0. Congratulations.
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 Thank you.
A man of few words. And now,
It's a technology person.
I knew I liked something about it.
last but not least, if I could invite Mr. Timothy Burdett to the podium. As Tim's coming up, he has been a Navy ROTC teacher at Denjon Middle School, a teacher at Liberty High, our Career and Technical Education Program Specialist and ROTC Coordinator, and currently serves as the Dean of Students at St. Cloud High since 2018. He is a retired Senior Chief Petty Officer with the United States Navy. He earned a bachelor's degree in general studies with community economic development concentration from Southern New Hampshire University and a master's in educational leadership from American College of Education. Another great example of our leadership pipeline, hard at work here in this district, cultivating and growing talent from within. And I said to Mr. Burdett this week, he's brought nothing but passion and drive and a desire to serve since I became the superintendent. So honored to recommend Mr. Burdett to become our new assistant principal at the Adult Learning Center of Osceola County with Ms. Combs.
I'll make a motion to approve the senior chief.
Second.
All right. I have a motion by Mr. Soto with a second by Mr. Booth. Any conversation?
Is he the party chairman as well?
I'm not sure.
Good job, shipmate.
Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign.
Nobody answered my question.
We had to make
Who
sure we
invited
got
that
4. Congratulations, Ted.
Thank you.
Any
Thank you. Chairman Thacker, Board, Dr. Pace, Dr. Fritz, thank you for all the support you've always given me. It's an honor to serve in Osceola County. And thank you, Mrs. Combs, for giving me the opportunity to come to work with you. We're going to make great things happen at Alco. I know that's going to be true. Thank you to Mrs. Stefanowitz, who helped me become who I am in CTE and all the CTE people. I'd like to thank Mr. Fancher, who gave me the opportunity to come to St. Cloud. Mr. Fancher, by far, is the best principal I've ever worked for. I hope Mr. Studley's not in the audience. But if I could become half the leader he is, I'd be honored. Him and his team is the best team I've ever worked with.
So I paid Nate to come a couple weeks ago. Nate paid you to.
Well, not yet, but I'm hoping, And I'd like to thank my family for being here. I'm going to have them stand, and there's a reason. My wife, and my son and his wife, and my aunt and uncle. My wife, obviously, is the director of elementary ed. My son, Hunter, and his wife are teachers at Mill Creek. My aunt and uncle, Daryl and Marcia, they're retired superintendents.
Great.
So we are an education family. And thank you once again for the opportunity.
Thank you. Very good. Congratulations to all of you, and good luck in your new endeavors. I know y'all did great. Yep, and this is as Mr. Booth just said, this is a great opportunity if you were here for somebody being promoted. I would like to say, Mr. Holmes, we have Russell Holmes back with us tonight for tonight for one of his colleagues being promoted. So it's good to see you, and I'm glad you came for that. So thank you all very much.
Don't everybody go. We got
exciting stuff's coming up soon.
Stuff is next.
Can we get a motion to approve everything else?
So moved. So you know how this works.
Yeah, we've had them
every meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the superintendent has the authority. We have to approve it, but if we don't approve it, she can kind of.
Okay, for those of you that are still here, this is our public comment portion of the meeting. There are yellow forms in the back to fill out if you wish to address the board. I do not have any right now. So
Ken, do you have anything to say, Ken?
If any. I know. We have that effect on people. So if there are no comments, we will move past that portion of the meeting and move to agenda modifications. And anybody have any? I know we have something being removed, but any other agenda modifications?
We're
removing item.
I was going to say I would
17.01 and
22.01.
22.01.
So basically, it's 2.01, 17.01, and 22.01 that we'll be tabling until next week's board meeting.
Okay, and I will move for the adoption of the consent agenda with those amendments.
So wait a minute. So when you remove 1701, that means all of 17?
No, we'll still have 1702.
Yes.
Well,
Okay.
17.03.
I mean, basically, you just want us to take one at a time?
Well, for 17, yes, we'll take one down.
No, there's only one.
There's only 17.02. There's only this one.
Oh, so 17.03 is out.
Yeah.
Because that's the motion to approve all
There
of
is
them.
no more 17.03.
That's all right.
Okay.
I'll figure it out. When we
Yes,
get there.
on that one, we will take one at a time. I have a motion by Mr. Booth.
Second.
Who seconded that? Second by Mr. Soto. Everybody clear on what we're doing? 17.01, 22.01 are being removed?
Well, there's one more as well.
One more, what I missed?
Correct.
The 2.01, the presentation that you already moved, sir.
Oh, okay, okay, we already, okay. Any further discussion? This is in addition is approving the consent agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, motion carries 4-0. Brings us to our information items, which there's nobody speaking to. Just for your information, I've asked Sarah if she will take a look at 1402 and just take one more quick read on that, because there was something in there sounding a little funny before we kind of bless it as a group. Brings us to item 15, the regular agenda, Deputy Superintendent for Human Services.
I'll make a motion to approve 15.03.
Have a
Second.
motion by Mr. Soto and a second by Ms. Castillo. Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, motion carries 4-0. Item 16.
I'll make a motion to approve item 16.01 as submitted.
Second with discussion.
Same.
Have a motion by Mr. Soto with a second by Mr. Booth with discussion. Mr. Booth, I believe you were first, and then we'll go to Ms. Castillo.
Well, I don't know if we have the same question. So just so that I understand, we are making an exception with our applicants for food service to not have their high school diploma. Is that correct?
That is correct. We did
Okay.
the same thing for bus drivers a couple of years ago to assist us with recruitment.
Yes.
We do work with those employees and work with them to get them into an ALCO program,
That's
either for a high
exactly
school
what my
diploma or
question
GED
was.
program. And
Okay.
before they're promoted, obviously, they would have to acquire that degree.
So-
But it also allows us to work with some of our adults with special needs in the community who can provide outstanding service and have gainful employment while still working on those graduation requirements.
Perfect. Yeah, that was my question. Basically, if there was a way for them to obtain their diploma.
Tammy kind of did some research for me today, and I believe we had 21 bus drivers and 20 attendants out of our 300 and something employees who have fallen into this category so far.
Mine wasn't a question, that's why I
13%.
wanted you to go first. It was more of a comment to say, just for the public to know that this is what we do, that if we do bring somebody in that doesn't have a high school diploma, we do work with them to get that high school diploma. And I remember when we did this with the bus drivers, and that was a big part of what we did then. I just want to make sure the public knows that we're not just waiving it and for no reason, but we do want to allow, as you said, for these employees to come in, and then we'll work with them to get their diploma. So I just wanted to make sure everybody knew what we were doing.
Any other comments? Make sure this is right. I have a motion by Mr. Soto with a second by Mr. Booth.
Correct.
Okay. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, motion carries 4-0. Brings us to item 17.02.
I'll make a motion to approve item 17.02 as submitted.
Second.
Have a motion by Mr. Soto with a second by Mr. Booth. Any further discussions, comments? Hearing none, we'll vote on the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, motion carries 4-0. Brings us to superintendent recommendations, 18.01, or 18.03.
Make a motion to approve 18.03. All items are submitted.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Soto with a
Discussion.
second by Ms. Castillo with a discussion by Mr. Booth.
I just wanted to make it clear, just so everybody knows, when we approve these legislative priorities, we've done, of course, compression. For those of you who really dive in and pay attention to what we do, compression is our number one ask in the state. That district cost differential was kind of brought back to even. I think last year, five
Almost $5 million.
Yeah, almost $5 million, if I remember correctly. So again, that'll be our number one push, and we hope we can get that kind of maybe all in for a while. But I did want to point out that we do, as every year, we talk about operational dollars, and this year we've actually put it down as teacher salaries. We usually put it down as operational dollars, but every year, I know we've been on the board, it has been part of our priority to fight for that. We've had a lot of discussion here on this dais. We've had things happen here with our impasse hearing and other things with our bargaining units. but understand, I just want to make it clear that we don't set the budget for the school district. The state sets the budget, and every year.
We set the budget. They
Well, we
the-
set the budget, they set the
allocation.
amount, yeah, the allocation. Thank you, Mr. Thacker. We, and I would assume 66 other districts are up there fighting for the same thing, which is more dollars that we can put back into our staff, not just teachers, but our paraprofessionals as well, and our bus drivers and maintenance folks and everybody, that we continue to fight for that. But certainly, we're not in control of that allocation. But we will continue to fight for it. So that's it, Mr. Chairman.
Anything else? I have a motion by Mr. Soto, and second by Ms. Castillo. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries 4-0. Mr. Kruppenbacher, you have any comments?
There are no legal issues to report on, but I would like to tell you all that I had the opportunity today to spend some time in a meeting with the head of your ESE and Linda and Yolanda, the two heads. And I remarked to the superintendent, I will tell you, I've been around exceptional ed for 40 years. There aren't two better people that I watched dealing with a very difficult issue. And the parent thanked me, and I responded, and I left so happy because the whole meeting was about what was good for the child. No egos, anything. And Dr. Pace, want to compliment you because that's, when you achieve that, to me, you're achieving everything that matters.
That's great.
That's very good to hear. Yes. I really trust your judgment, but I also know these folks, and I will concur 100%.
Sharing that.
Superintendent, do you have anything?
Just a couple of things. I sent information to you board members yesterday regarding the Olay Drive-Up. Instead of being scheduled for session this time, they have moved it to November for committee week, November 12th through the 13th. I don't have any other definitive details, but if you would like to participate, we will need to get a room reserved through the Chamber of Commerce, and Tanya get something on the board agenda for your travel. In addition, I wanted to remind you, board members, that we are missing a member from both our Audit Advisory Committee as well as from our Business Advisory Committee. We had originally nominated Ms. Carrie Whaley for our Audit Advisory Committee. She's not going to be able to serve. And we have Grant Lacerte, who's recently resigned from his service to the Business Advisory Board meeting. And so just wanted to bring that to your radar, and certainly if you have recommendations, you can get those to Sarah, get those to me, and we'll run it by the rest of the team and then try to get those positions filled.
Do you know if Grant would be interested in going to the audit committee?
I can reach out to him and
He would be a great asset to that committee.
Just he resigned from the Business Advisory Committee because we appointed somebody else from KUA, and they didn't feel two KUA members should be there. So it wasn't that he didn't want to do something.
If the board is in consensus with that, we'll certainly follow up with Grant. He's been a tremendous asset to our Business Advisory
I'll
Board
make a
meeting,
motion
and I
if
think
I
he'd be
need
very
to
good.
do so, because I know Grant's a good dude. No?
Do we need to
Don't
make
need
a,
a motion.
okay.
I think you have a consensus.
Unanimous consent. Who was Miss Whaley? Who was the nominator?
it's Mr. Soto's appointee who was previously Chris Mack and moved out of county.
Okay, so Mr. Soto needs to find somebody?
I do not. That's a board decision.
Are you happy with Grant?
That's a board decision,
I mean,
absolutely.
No. Oh, that's
I'd rather have
for
folks
business
that,
partner,
you know,
or
that
for
are
business
interested in-
advisory.
Business
Was that a-
advisory
was that a board
vacated
appointee?
by Grant.
But was
We
that a
do-
board appointee?
Yes,
Yes.
they both are. So we still have the Business Advisory is still open if you know somebody.
But it's for anybody. It's not like.
They're not
It's
by
not
district.
specific to one board member.
I don't have anybody.
Well, we'll think about it.
Well, yeah,
Got it.
We'll get to you.
Okay, sounds good.
Individually, if we
That's
think-
all, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Item 22.01, we held off on. Excuse me.
I know that it's not on the agenda, Mr. Chairman, but could I just?
I'm going to
Just-
board member comments. If you'll
Okay, yes,
follow the
yes.
agenda, you can go
I'm
right
sorry.
now.
Well, then.
Is that what's next?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. I just want to make sure that we're not putting staff in any sort of, I know because of our September schedule, we've got a meeting next week where we plan to have Mr. Weisshire here, which I'm assuming is why we pulled this. But we're good, staff's good.
1 week will work.
Okay, 1 week.
They just
will
don't
work.
want to go much further than that because they want to start developing their recruitment materials
Okay.
before our
So-
choice fair the first week of November.
We're planning on naming this facility, right? Something besides Poinciana Business Academy? Or,
It's not on the agenda, so you really shouldn't be talking about it.
I just wanted to try to get something together.
You might look back or think back to our recent facilities workshop
I
where we
do.
had some discussion and there was consensus, but we do need formal action.
Gotcha. Okay, got it.
Mrs. Steele, do you have any other comments?
I do not.
Mr. Soto?
Nay.
I have one thing I want to just run by the three of you. The FSBA Legislative Committee met here in the school district at OTEC last week. We had a good meeting working on the platform. We have pretty much come to a complete consensus. The number one issue will be, for the Florida School Board Association platform, will be the teacher salary, recruitment and retention
Great.
focus.
That's great.
Followed by some additional funding for VPK. Those two were strong first and second vote getters throughout the meeting. There's a third one on mental health, school safety, as you could imagine what that would be. But what I'm curious, we're kind of had a fourth one that kind of showed up a little bit. And in our follow-up call, it's been fairly hotly debated. I will tell you that I'm not sure it's something that this board wants to back, but I want to kind of get a head nod from y'all on your opinion. Basically, what the issue is our end-of-course exams, and if I say this wrong, Dr. Pace, please correct me. Our end-of-course exams account for 30% of the student's final grade. The issue that's brought up is they would like to see that reduced or eliminated because the feeling was our kids may be having some disadvantages with kids from other states by the way that the state is requiring that. I'm not really that interested in debating the merits of that one way or the other, but right now, there's no data to support that. There's no data at all. There's no data for it or against it.
Yeah.
It's just all anecdotal. My recommendation for the group is we spend a year, we gather that data, we take it back. I also think that we have a great feeling in the legislature. The governor wants more money for teachers. Our legislative leadership wants that. Our secretary of the education wants that. Commissioner of Education. So why, I don't want to get something in there that makes our legislatures go right to it and say, y'all don't care about accountability and you don't care about the competitiveness of students. But before I kind of push that on behalf of the school board as opposed to me, I kind of wanted to get y'all's feeling.
As long as it's more than 57 cents, right, Sarah?
So these EOCs set at 30%, that's not a local decision?
No.
State decision.
I don't have a major problem with the issue. My concern is we can bring it up this year, we can torpedo everything else.
I would concur with your assessment, Mr. Legislative Committee Chairman Thacker, and I think you're spot on because without data, you don't have anything to show. We certainly don't want to put Florida kids at a disadvantage for highly competitive universities across the country. But if we have zero data to back anything up,
We can find the data.
If you find the data, I'd be more than happy to talk about it.
Finding the data and we discuss it.
Yeah, I would have to agree as well. I think that it's difficult to prove a point with anecdotal evidence, and I'm a big fan of having concrete data, so I concur with your assessment.
Can we do some anecdotal research right now? Board, if you would.
Sure, we do have.
What do you feel about 30% of your grade coming down on the EOC?
Well, when it comes to EOCs, I'm a good test taker.
Okay.
But I know a lot
Anecdotal.
of kids,
Based on that,
I know a lot of kids who aren't good test takers, and they have a big problem with their final grade being determined by their end of course exam. Like they can do well throughout the entire course, and then it comes down to that, and it might not bring them down, but it makes their self-esteem low when they see that 3 or that 2, and it
and you're running around. Hey, look at my 5.
math isn't my subject. But I do think that anecdotal evidence from not just one school, but from every school, from different students, should be obtained before making a final decision on this matter.
Thank you
See,
for indulging
we're all
me,
in
Board.
agreement here.
Dr. Pace, you got a comment?
I would just remind the board as well that this year the standards are under complete review. Depending on where that goes, assessments will be rewritten, accountability measures will be reexamined and reevaluated and potentially reconfigured. So that, again, would potentially be something for the board to consider in, is this the argument to take on this year? Or is that an argument better served as we move through the standards review and assessment development process?
One question, though. I agree with what I'm hearing here. But the process is that why would they be a review or any research into the issue unless it's going to be, evaluated as a policy decision? So, that's, I'll leave that to the people who are involved with that. One thing about it is that obviously universities, there's a lot of competition for higher education. And so test scores do two things. Number one, they have to be kind of standard in some way as a reliable measure by these institutions. On the other hand, how you weight exams should be used as a learning, as a teaching tool, for the individual. And so that way, it's not just the passing grade, but did they learn? Did the individual learn in the class? I mean, when you think about both of those concerns, this policy argument that is being advanced has to do with basically trying to standardize and give our students the same opportunity as maybe other states, right? That don't hold as high a final exam. I think we're kind of forced to go ahead and pursue that rationale. But I agree with what you said, actually, that when these exams are not done properly, they can have a negative effect on learning. And 30% on a final, that's kind of harsh. I like to get rid of exams altogether, but that's just me.
But just so I know, because I just kind of want to make sure I have consensus, we're okay to not drive forward as a board onto the Florida School Board platform this year.
Yeah, I'm okay with
But if
that.
it's not on the platform, why would it even be important?
Because right now, the issue is whether to put it on the platform or not.
And I guess just to extend that conversation, not that we need to know this now, because obviously this isn't even something we're going to discuss this year, but who is collecting the data? I mean, who's going to be responsible for gathering?
We've talked
Florida.
to the School Board Association.
Got it.
The association itself, the staff, paid staff.
Okay, so they're, and
Ask them to pull that together.
okay, do we know like what the measurements are going to be? Just
I do not. They're probably going to deal with the DOE and others.
Okay.
How they pull that together.
okay.
They said they could handle
A private school, I got a question for the superintendent. A private school doesn't follow any of these, right?
Correct. And I think, it's certainly been a while since I've been in that process, but that's one of the reasons why colleges and universities are looking not just at a GPA, but they're looking at course progression, they're looking at advanced placement results, which are consistent across the nation, they're looking at SAT, ACT scores, which are common exams across the nation in making a lot of their decision points.
And any other comments from boards on that issue or any other issues? Destiny, your turn. Thank you for being here for the last 3 meetings.
Thank you for having me. Honestly, being here has been one of the most educational experiences, and especially that I'm a senior.
You probably made a quantum leap in this meeting without Mr. Weinstein.
Yeah. That was much better.
I'm so happy to have been part of the Osceola School District for my entire educational system. Not only have I seen the falls of being in here, I've seen how you guys have progressed and made things better for students that may have not had the same experience as I did as a kid. I see elementary schools now, and I see how middle schools are now, and I think they've evolved into something a lot better than what I had originally expected when I was a kid. I used to despise going to school. Now I look forward to going to school every day. It's because you guys put so much work into helping educate me in the things I'm going to need and grow as an adult, and I'm so grateful for every one of you for taking your time and effort out of your day to make sure that every student and every family gets to enjoy and feel comfortable in the school system.
Aww.
Thank you for being here.
We're not saying anything else.
No, drop the mic.
That's it. We're going to go home on that.
Thank you for being here. We've enjoyed it.
If there's nothing else, it looks like that was 47 minutes. We will stand adjourned. That would have Clarence written next to 47.